Hannah, how did you learn English?
That's a great question. I guess it was a mix of things, but the most important thing for me was making it fun.
Fun? That's not what most people think of when they think of studying.
Right? But if it feels like a chore, you won't stick with it. I started with something I already loved reading.
Reading? Really? I find it so difficult sometimes.
Me too at first. I didn't jump into classic novels or anything. I started with books for children.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, the sentences are simpler and the vocabulary is easier. Plus, the stories are usually short and fun. Builds your confidence.
So you would read children's books?
Exactly. I would read a page and look up any words I didn't know. I'd write them down in a notebook.
Did you write down every single word?
No. Only the ones that seemed important to the story. I didn't want to get stuck on every little detail. The goal was to understand the main idea first.
That's a good tip. I think I get too focused on knowing everything.
And then, once I was comfortable with children's books, I moved on to young adult novels. The ones you read in middle school, you know?
Like Twilight?
Exactly. I read the first Twilight book in my native language first, so I already knew the story. When I read it in English, it was so much easier to follow along.
That's genius. You already had the context.
Exactly. And after that, it just became a habit. I started reading more and more. I even started listening to audiobooks while I was commuting.
So reading was the biggest thing for you. What about speaking? That's what a lot of learners struggle with.
Oh, speaking was terrifying at first. Practiced a lot by myself.
How?
I would read a chapter of a book and then try to summarize it out loud. Just to myself in my room. Felt silly, but it helped me practice forming sentences.
So you were basically talking to yourself?
Pretty much. And after a while, I found an online language exchange partner. We would meet for 30 minutes. She wanted to practice my language and I wanted to practice English.
How did you find a partner?
There are so many apps and websites for that now. I used one of the more popular ones. It was a great way to practice in a low-pressure environment.
I think that's the key, right? Finding a place where you don't feel embarrassed to make mistakes.
Absolutely. And my partner, she was so patient. She would correct my pronunciation sometimes, but mostly she would just let me talk.
What about listening? Was that easier for you?
Listening was tough. I started with YouTube videos like this one, but I would listen to them at a slower speed.
That's a good feature to use.
Yeah. I would listen to a short conversation and then try to write down what I heard.
That sounds really hard.
It is, but it trains your ear. You start to notice the little sounds and how words connect.
So you read, you practiced speaking by yourself, and you trained your listening with podcasts. What about writing?
Writing was the last thing I focused on. I started with a simple journal. I would write about my day, what I ate for lunch, what I watched on TV.
Just simple things?
Yep. No pressure to write a perfect essay. Just getting my thoughts out in English.
So what would you say is the one piece of advice you'd give to someone who is just starting out?
Don't worry about making mistakes, they're part of the learning process. Each one helps you grow. Let English become a natural part of your everyday life, not just something you study from a book.
That's perfect advice. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Hannah.
I hope it helps some people out there.
I'm sure it will. That's all we have for today.
And what about you? What's one method you found most helpful in your English learning journey? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for listening to this video. Don't forget to check out our other English videos to help you improve your skills. Subscribe and like.